Let's get it. Good morning. Happy Friday again. Hope everybody having a great week so far. Having a great morning. Let's get this thing crack-a-lacking, man. We had an absolute excellent night over at First Step Trading with the Minties, man. Pretty much caught that whole move lower. Yeah, we did. I mean, technically speaking, we did catch that whole move lower last night, which is pretty crazy because our target saved us from a red trade, actually, which is where we would have been right now. Last night we went short. I'll show you guys real quick. Last night we went shorts, literally right here. Never seen $1 of drawdown. It just went straight to target, but obviously look at where we're back at right now. So if we would have held like any longer, we would have been cooked. All right, let me get this situated. Hannah, are you here this morning? Miss Hannah? She's probably over there doing something. Why is my thing broken? Miss Hannah, are you here this morning? Hello.
Hey, sorry, I was on mute. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning. Happy Friday. All right, everybody can see clear? Everybody can hear clear? As always, I'm going to go over the future side of things. I'm going to be pretty quick so Hannah can hop into what she's watching. We'll pretty much be watching the same thing anyway. But yeah, man, last night, this was an absolute beautiful trade that we caught, which was the failure of this structure here. I mean, literally, we took an entry right here. I don't think we ever seen $1 of red. Target was 24,500. Woke up, target was hit, made over $5,000 a contract, and that was pretty much it. So that was the nature of last night for us. You know what I mean? That was just insane. It was a 250-point move, 60-point move. So that was pretty nice. Going into today's session, you know, very green. That's always a good day. Let me make this bigger real quick. But where are we at now? Right, that's the ultimate question here. What's going on now? What's going in today? I mean, the more I look at this chart, the more it kind of just bamboozles me because, you know, in the grand scheme of things, like we're ultimately just holding demand. You know what I mean? Like this is that big demand, previous resistance, previous support. Like this is what's going on here. So as much as I want to say this fucker goes down to zero, not literally, but I just don't think that's gonna. I don't think he's gonna allow it to happen like that. Could I be wrong? Yes. Do I hope I'm wrong? Yes. I mean, you could even argue what we're seeing right now. What is this? I mean, is this not a textbook Head and Shoulders? Right. So I don't know. I want to say lower, but I also just want to say higher because it's Trump. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna figure out a way. To pick the market back up, you know, usually. So today, what I would say with NQ, well, it's very clear here, right? Major demand, 24,425. That was the last bounce. That was the bounce from last night. Very clear supply here, 25,160. So this is essentially our new range now, right? And it's a big one, right? It's a very big one. We have almost a 700-point range here, so there definitely will be value. But today's session, what I mean, I hate this open, to be honest with you. But what I would be watching today is 24,680. That's the first things first. That was that major support, resistance, support. Number two, 24,425. This I can kind of get rid of. But third would be the top of the supply. That's pretty much all I got here, right? I'm not sure why. The audio's going out, but I don't know what I could do. I don't. What does it sound like on your guys' end? Guys, I see the audio issue, but on my end, it's not showing anything, so you guys gotta tell me. You know, obviously I get it, it's in and out. Maybe reset YouTube, refresh the page. Hannah, you want to say something? See if yours is doing the same thing.
Testing, testing. I don't know. I can hear you, but only because I'm on the Zoom.
Okay, someone said
Oh,
restarted app and fixed. Okay, guys, just press the refresh button. Anyway, NQ. What I'm watching is obviously this low here, right? 24, 425. Second is 24, 680. So if we're above this today after holding that demand, I mean, I do think that we'll probably see a little bit higher. How high? Don't know. But so the 24, 680 will kind of be my pivot today for one, longs, or two. If we can get back below 24, 680, that'd be a nice opportunity back down into these lows. So my big decision-making level today is going to be that 24, 680 or 24, 420. Where we're opening, I don't like it, right? I don't like this open back in this range. ES, pretty much the same chart, right? Where we're ultimately, if you want to be very technical, we're still within that weekly range. We're still between that previous week's high, that previous week's low. So there's still, essentially no direction here for us to really trade from. But we did hold a major demand here. That's 6,600. We're now working our way, obviously, back up to the upper portion of this range. I don't like it. Yes, right? There's nothing here that I like. There's nothing here that I would really watch outside of maybe, that head and shoulders setup. We have the head, left shoulder, head. We could watch that rejection off that left shoulder area. So we could watch for a rejection on ES around 6,700. That's what I would watch today on ES. Pop back in that 6,700 area. That's where I would look for a rejection to go short. Outside of that, I mean, this chart is not a chart that speaks to me. RTY, again, major failure. All-time highs, 2,500. That's kind of your game plan, right? If we're below that 2,500, that's your area you're watching for a rejection. If we can take out these daily lows, 2,430, that's where we get lower, right? That's pretty much the nature of this chart. But again, every chart I've went over so far is what? It's back in a range, right? This is just a big range area. And I'm typically not too excited to trade in that range. YM, pretty much same story, right? All of these charts are identical, right? Look at NQ. Look at that structure. ES structure. YM. Look, same exact thing, right? We all have like this little mini head and shoulders here. You can take it how you want, but that's what it is. So, I mean, what I would watch here is obviously the neckline. That would be the structure. And then that supply up there at that left shoulder, which would be 46, 500. So you could watch that area for rejection. Or, maybe, I don't even know, to be honest. I don't like this chart at all. I really don't like any of these charts, if I'm being honest with you. But, yeah, we could form a head and shoulders here. I mean, I just don't see anything that I like, right? Like, every time that we start to get some nice momentum, right? And you have to be real with yourself, right? Look at this chart here, right? We had the big failure from yesterday. We had continuation overnight. Now, look what just happened. We just held demand. That's the only thing we did here. Not only did we hold demand, but we reclaimed that previous day's low. This is bullish at the moment, right? Now, if we get back below 24,680, that would be bearish again. But right now, this is very bullish, right? Very, very bullish. And that goes the same for ES, right? What do? We had the supply rejection, check. Got weak, check. Had a little bit of continuation, and then bam. We held demand, swept that previous candle's low, swept the previous day's low. Now we got a strong bullish pin bar. That's bullish, right? Like the overall uptrend is bullish. Like, so it's just, we're not getting what we need on this chart in terms of continuation. Obviously the overall structure is bullish, and I would consider, today's session to be, pretty tricky, right? Because of the nature of these charts. But anyway, move on here. Google, absolutely love this chart here. Major level in play is at 255. So if we can get above 255 today on Google, that is definitely a top long watch of mine for a move into 260 plus. Looks very good. AMD, beautiful chart here. Watching this 224, 225 demand bounce, pretty much what we just seen, sadly. Or above 242. This has room back into 250 plus. So AMD is definitely the top long watch if we can get above those highs. Tesla, still building below this 440. Very nice structure here at 420. So we're looking for essentially a break and hold above 440 for longs, or we're looking for that break and hold below 420 for lower. And that's pretty much the nature of that chart. Waiting for a break of that range, and that'll be the safest way to trade it. Meta, I'm gonna take this off my watch. Don't like it anymore. Apple, I mean, to be honest, I really don't like this either. But 252 on Apple's big. 245 is big. Amazon, major level here, guys. This is definitely a top watch today. 212, 219. If we can get below that 212, Amazon sees at 208, and then potentially even that low 200 level. So this has a lot of potential, right? This has a very, very lot of potential. Um, Next we have Nvidia. Nvidia is still kind of holding this demand here, right? But we're getting those lower highs along the way. So what I would watch on Nvidia is kind of, either a demand hold here of this 177.50. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two would be, hey, if we can lose at 177.50, that should get us lower into 173s. So that's kind of what I'm watching today, guys. I know it's not a extravagant watch, but I truly don't really, like much, right? If you look at SPY here, what do? We just held demand, right? And now we're back in this range. So anything could happen from today. I would lean probably, I don't even know. I'm not even going to say anything, but 590 held on Qs. The main level I would watch today is 601.50, 603, right? That's that head and shoulders. We got that left shoulder head. If we can pop back into this area here, 601.50, 603, that's your main area for rejection, okay? SPY, your main area for rejection would be 666, 665, or obviously below that neckline. I'm gonna let Hannah go ahead and do her thing, and I'll go over some more tickers once she's done with you guys. And here we go.
Right, all right. Get this going. All right. Um, my internet went out yesterday, so I kind of had to revamp everything. I feel like I missed, well, actually, I did miss everything that happened later on in the session. Like Val said, we're just every little sell-off, well, not little, like we'll have a big sell-off and we'll hold demand. We'll have a big sell-off, we'll hold demand. We'll have a big sell-off, we'll hold demand. So same thing, right? Overnight, have this big sell-off. I think we're going somewhere, and then, we're just right back into, like you said, reclaiming yesterday's lows. That's very bullish. But then at the end of the day, I don't want to get too excited just because of pre-market action. Today is OPEX, so I do expect there to be some sort of wonky action. I'm usually not even trading OPEX just because of that. I'm gonna stick around and see what we can catch. I missed yesterday. But yeah, like my main watch is gonna be the bottom of this trend line here. I know we broke it, but it's also in confluence with the 666. So if we can get back, I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, 666 and OPEX. But yeah, I'll just be looking to see if we reject the bottom of this trend line. But as of right now, we're just holding this demands. If we just get super strong, reclaim that 666, that means there's room back to 670, and then obviously all-time high. So SPY's just been super choppy, QQQ as well, but I don't know, like the moves and the ATR during, intraday has just been crazy. So you can catch a nice move if you're, around, but don't chase anything, you guys. Like it's really not worth it. If you get a bad entry on something, it's gonna be bad. It's account blowing bad. So just kind of just keep these areas on watch. If we get an entry, it can signal. But as of right now, like we've reclaimed yesterday's lows, and we'll see what happens off the open. But that's gonna be my top watch on SPY. I'm not, if we just chop around, just like first half of yesterday, I'm not interested. I don't really care to trade it. QQQ, same thing, right? We held this 590, 590, 590, 590, and now we've reclaimed yesterday's low. So I'm gonna be watching this like 603, 604. Same thing, bottom of the trend line. Obviously, 603 was a big level. So see what we do there. But anything in between here, I'm not interested. Again, I'm not gonna get whiplashed around, and it's been like $3, $4 candles. So I just don't care to try to chase that. But if we do come up here, start to reject, I can get a nice entry, I'll signal it. But outside of that, I don't really care about what happens on Spire Qs. I just want to get out of this range, this choppiness that we've had, and get back to either trending, bullish trend, bearish trend, I don't care, but I just want a nice trend to catch. Tesla, I don't really, we have this small gap, but we've kind of dipped back into it. I guess if we get above 430, market gets strong, there gives us room back to that 440, but that's really all I have. Break and reclaim 430, maybe take it back to 440, but it depends on what SPY Qs does today. Tesla obviously is a big mover, so I just like to keep her on side watch. If she gets going, try to catch it. AMD, she's already going. She initially pre-market broke that 227, retested that 224, 225 previous day structure, but now we're back into this 235, which is what I had on watch yesterday. But she was really choppy. It wasn't a nice move. Like what was that, Wednesday we were able to catch? If she can reclaim pre-market high here, I mean you might get that move back to 240, so that could be a nice move. But I don't know. When it happens pre-market like this, I don't really like to take it or chase it intraday because like those orders have already been filled. So we'll see. Nvidia actually, on the other hand, super weak. We do have this nice wedge forming. If she reclaims this 180 and pops out, it could be a nice move back to like 184, 185-ish. But Nvidia has been super weak in comparison to AMD. So I don't know. The moves have been, better to the downside, obviously, just obviously making these lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. But if we break out of here and the market gets strong as well, if Qs get strong, that could potentially be nice. So just keep it on side watch again because Nvidia, she's just been super fake. I haven't traded Nvidia in a minute. Been sticking with AMD since they've had that breakout. Apple, I don't really like, yeah, Apple's just chopping around. Like I said, I say this every week. I feel like Apple will just consolidate, like weeks at a time. And then, all of a sudden she'll get news or some catalyst and just break out. But as of right now, just been chopping around. Initially that 245 break was watched. She actually broke it 244. So if we break below 244, she could go back to like 240, 239-ish. So just keep that on side watch. But as of right now, I mean, previous, yeah, 252, I think Paul said. I like that too. Go ahead and put that here. But anything in between, yesterday I think I scalped Apple because she was super weak off the open in comparison to SPY and Qs. They were pumping. I could just see the relative weakness. I thought we might get that initial 245 break, but it was just really nice relative weakness. That's all it was. There wasn't really like a Q level or anything like that. But yeah, let's see. Meta, Meta is just super choppy as well. We held the 700 pre-market. That's obviously a very strong cycle level. If we can get above the 713 structure from yesterday, it could be a nice move back to like 720, 723-ish. But Meta is just, again, just super fake breakouts all over the place, right? So, if you have a small account, I would stay away from Meta anyways. But if nothing's moving, we'll just kind of see if, again, the market, it all depends on what SPY and Qs wants to do today. Like if Qs gets really strong, Meta can break that structure. Again, she could really get going, but she can also whiplash you around. So again, another side watch. There's nothing really to love on any of these individuals. I think I was watching Google. Google was nice yesterday. Finally broke this trend line, but here we are back. If we can retest, I think this 255 previous high, 256 trend line and get some weakness, that might be a good short back to like 252, 250. But Meta overall has been strong, right? Obviously, we had this trend on this trend, make new highs, and then we broke it just to come back up and potentially retest. So again, Google, it's Friday, so if you want to be safe, potentially take next week contracts depending on when she gets going. But that's that. Hood. Oh, the move already happened. Yesterday I was watching this 130 break. Obviously we got it. We held this 123. Now, if we can get back and break out of this trend line here, potentially we get a nice move back like 137, 141. Those are my levels on this. But if we, can't reclaim and just kind of reject this trend line, that could be a nice move as well back to lows 123. I don't actually, day trade Hood. I like to chart it because some of you guys ask in the mornings, I think most people either in other groups or just kind of watching this. It is fun to chart, obviously. Very nice. It respects trends very well. I just never catch it. I'm never watching it when the move happens. Just like I said, this 130, I didn't see this yesterday. So yeah, that's really all I have. There's not a lot going on. Again, I think, just everything going on. The market's just kind of wonky. Every time we think we're getting a nice continuation move, the continuation doesn't happen. We get a nice reversal. So again, just be careful. Again, OPEX, so just be on the lookout. It's super easy to get chopped around today. Contracts are expiring all over the place. So just keep that on watch. I wouldn't stick around too long today and give back profits from the week. But that's all I have. If you guys want to put tickers in the chat, we can go over that. Gal, if you're still here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you for your time this morning. Someone said, "Is this his girlfriend?" Anytime someone sees a man and a woman together, it's automatic.
Right.
Amazon? Sure, I'll check out Amazon. I think I already did, to be honest, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did. All you're worried about here on Amazon is this essential demand, right? This is the demand that we've held since back in July. Above it, I would consider that, know, not bullish, but that's a bullish hold, right? So Amazon, you're watching 212, 219. We hold 212 and get above 219. That's where that squeeze comes on. Downside 212. That's simple. MU. Holy smokes. Wow. This is at all-time highs. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's up and it's stuck. That's all I gotta say. Big level here at 175, and obviously you got these all-time highs up here at 206. You know, I mean, I wouldn't really be comfortable giving you what I was watching on this because I think it's, I think there's much better names to trade. Put it that way. Tesla, sure. Major demand here, 420. Major supply here, 440. My no trade zone would be right here. Not touching Tesla in between of this, right? If we can get below 420, awesome. Above 440, awesome. Those are two A+ setups if we can get above or below. But inside of this range, I wouldn't touch it. But if you want to be technical, right, this is a head and shoulders, right? We have that head, left shoulder. So, you know, all of these charts are very similar, right? Tesla's got the head and shoulders. SPY's got the head and shoulders. Q's has the head and shoulders. All of it is very defined, too, to be honest. Probably one of the cleanest head and shoulders I've seen on a chart in terms of structure, right? You have that starting point. You have, you know, the left shoulder. You have a perfect neckline. You obviously have the head. And then you have, you know, the right shoulder over here. And then, you know, this is a beautiful head and shoulders, right? So long as we're below 601.50 on Qs, 603, I would say this head and shoulders is intact. SPY, that level would be 665, 666. NQ, 25,000 would be the level. ES, 6,700. YM, 46,500. I would say those are still intact for sure. IWM, your focus is just this previous all-time high, right? We had a major resistance. We attempted to go higher. We failed, and now this is supply. Okay, so you're watching for a pop back into 247, 248. If we're below it, that is your rejection area. Downside, you're watching 241. If we lose 241 on IWM, that is the ultimate short. First, for the gap fill into 232nd. Second, targeting these daily lows. This is actually a beautiful setup that I'm probably going to keep a close eye on today. Honestly, this looks very good. I'm going to set alert here. And then I'm going to put an alert here. I'll do one more. Gold. Ah, man. I hate looking at this chart. I mean, dude, you think NQ is volatile? This is just a different animal right now, right? I mean, we're starting to see 100-point swings. For those of you that don't understand, that's a $10,000 move on a mini right here in about 40 minutes. And that was another $10,000 move right back up on a mini. On a micro, that's about $1,000. So you can make or lose on a mini $1,000 probably in any second, right? So I would encourage you guys to stay away from gold on the mini side. But if you want to trade it with a micro, what I would be watching is essentially just this 4,300. This is the new demand we just established essentially last night, right? With that sell-off, that's where we got bought up at. That's what we're holding here. So, you know, if gold's above 4,300, I would consider that still bullish, right? But, you know, maybe if we roll over, lose 4,300, this could see lower. So I would say your big decision-making level here would be that 4,360, which is, you know, obviously that downside move right here. And then obviously 4,300. Outside of that, I would be careful here, man. You know what I mean? It's all fun and games until you're on the wrong side. You know, I know this doesn't look crazy. You know, it looks like a normal chart. But just for perspective, this candle right here, from here to here, that's a 50-point move, right? That's $5,000 a contract if you're on the wrong side. If you're on the right side, you made 5,000, right? If you have micro, it's 500. So, you know, this is very, very volatile and it's consistent, right? It's still making those kind of moves. So just be careful, guys. Like, you know, this candle, for example, right? This is one singular candle. It's a 20-point move. So if you were long, you made 2,000. If you were short, you lost 2,000. And micros, that would have been 200. So, you know, if you're comfortable stomaching that type of volatility, more power to you. I mean, I personally, it's a little too volatile for me, and that says a lot because I love volatility, right? I don't want to, you know, it's hard enough to manage risk, but you know, me personally, I would have to trade one micro here for me to be comfortable. You know, or I would say a couple micros, but still, it's nice to trade, right? It's just a little too volatile for my comfortability. But yeah, man. I'm going to go ahead and get my breakfast. Hannah, do you got any last words? You want to hang out for a little bit, or you better
Stay
rock out as
safe.
well?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab breakfast as well. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Just stay safe. It's Friday again. No giving up profits. Going to the weekend green.
Yes, ma'am. Let's have a great day today. I'll see the majority of you guys on Zoom here in a little bit. Today is obviously Friday, so you will be able to get the link. Um, and that will be in the Zoom links and events. That would be obviously only on Fridays. And then it goes away after that. But yeah, I'll see you guys on live trading here in a little bit. Let's have a great Friday. And if I don't see y'all, hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Peace, everybody.